restaurant for many years, a restaurant that you were an employee of first, and take us through, like, even before the restaurant. What were you doing before even the restaurant? Raising the children?
Well, I started working in a restaurant going to college.
Wow.
So that was my beginning there, and I started out as just a hostess and a waitress. Then I became the manager for many years.
Now, at that point, did you have an idea what Paula wanted to be and what she wanted to do? Was there a trajectory that has led to what you're doing now, or?
I did. I was going to college. I was going to be an accountant.
Wow.
I had it all figured out. I was going to have a little house with a sign on my porch.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I ended up running the restaurant and then buying the restaurant, but the accounting came in handy.
Sure.
But I spent most of the time out with my customers and on the floor and did the bookwork. So it just shows, there you go. What direction, we never know what may open up.
And did you dream of owning that restaurant, or it just happened to,
I didn't in the beginning, but I fell in love with it. I did. I fell in love with it.
What kind of restaurant was it?
Yeah, Italian food.
Ooh. You didn't bring any in your luggage, did you?
Authentic Italian food. It was wonderful.
Go to the West Coast for that, right?
Yeah.
So what experience, what did you learn from the experience of owning a restaurant? You're dealing with all kinds of personalities, all kinds of different people. People are coming to the restaurant not just for nourishment, but for an experience. They want their troubles left at the door. Sometimes they bring their troubles in the door. You deal with all types of people. So what was that, how did that restaurant experience enhance you and some of the work that you're doing now?
It really helped me working with the public. You learn so much with that. You also learn to work under pressure. We're slow, we're slammed. You learn so much in that kind of situation. And then as I became a manager and the owner, you learn to work and be an employer. And I was very oriented that with the staff members, we're a team. We're a team in this business, and everyone benefits. And that really helped the restaurant be successful. And we had loved the customers. I loved my customers so much. Yeah.
So did you hang on to the restaurant? Did you sell the restaurant?
I eventually sold it.
That must have been
It was
tough.
like cutting my arm off.
Like
yeah.
it was your baby.
It was. It was. It was a big
What
decision.
was the turning point for you to say, it's time to move on to do other things? Because you put so much of your blood, sweat, and tears and financial investment and your life into this restaurant.
You know, I'd been working several years as a single mom. My husband had passed away due to health issues, and dealing with that and long hours, but the kids worked there with me, which made it fun. But then my brother passed away suddenly, and I just had to say, I need to relook at life a little bit. And maybe I should sell the restaurant. And I just kind of put that out there, and next thing I know, someone's offering me something, so I sold the restaurant.
When you sold the restaurant, what were the sensations like for you? Was there any sense of relief? Burden put away? Was it burdensome? Was there fear of what do I do next? Was there joy? Or did you feel like it was a loss, grieving?
Yeah. Well, at first it was like, okay, I'm going to have more time and more family time. And then it was like, literally, it was like I went through withdrawals because I'm such a people person, and I wasn't.
And you were the star of the show.
Everyone,
people came to see you as
and I
much
was like,
as the
oh
food.
my gosh. So I went and got myself a job as a receptionist for a builder company, and just loved that. And then,
when did the Reiki start to come in? Were you learning about Reiki and studying it and then becoming an expert at it during all this, or did this come later? And how were you introduced to it?
It was during my time as a receptionist for this company, and I had a white German Shepherd that owned my heart, and she was very ill. And someone said to me, you should learn Reiki, and I'd never heard of it. So I started learning Reiki, and I fell in love with it. I just fell in love with it.
What was it about Reiki that spoke to?
It just, I've already been very connected and grateful spiritually, you know, believe in God, and that I was a miracle meant to be here. And the Reiki actually even made that stronger. And then just it elevates us vibrationally. And then seeing what it does for others, being able to offer that to animals, to people, it just absolutely, I'm still in awe. I just think Reiki is wonderful. And I'm very big on the vibration level that we reside in. Anger, hatred, envy, those are low vibration energies. Love, compassion, caring, those are high vibration energies. So where we choose to reside energetically is what we're going to attract. It
And
is.
can it change? Can we go from low to high, high to low, or is it something that goes up and down and doesn't stay fixed?
Yeah, because we're humans, and because things happen, challenges come, and actually, you know, the anger can come in over something, and really that anger can be transformed. I'm angry about this, and that will make me stronger because let's say it's how someone's treated or something happens. Because I have love and compassion in me, that is going to make me a stronger force in doing something positive for what I'm upset with.
It's incredible, huh? And when you can share that with other people, there's nothing better, right?
Yeah,
It's really amazing.
I love it.
So how long have you been doing Reiki? A long time now, right?
12 or 13 years now.
For
Yeah.
people that are watching this segment, how do you define what Reiki is? They may have heard of this phrase Reiki, but they're not clear on what Reiki does,
Yeah.
how it works, and what some of the benefits are of it.
Yeah, it's basically tuning into life force energy, and I kind of also see it as like a prayer modality. You just basically, when someone becomes a Reiki practitioner, it's through what's called an attunement, originally called initiation, and you just kind of activate this increased connection to energy flow that we already have. So let's say I'm offering Reiki to someone. I activate my Reiki. Reiki energy flows through us. Energy is around every one of us. And this energy comes through our palm chakras, our eyes, our breath. And you send that to the person you're offering Reiki to. And it helps physically, emotionally. Raises their vibration, raises their immune system. And it's just, and we get healed too. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. There is no negative, it's all positive. I mean, you can rub your hands and you can feel that energy. That's our energy field. And it being in balance is huge. Reiki will break apart imbalances, toxins. They say that Reiki can discern and break up a disease 6 months before it manifests. It's just, it does so many things,
So
what I've seen over the years.
for our audience to sort of visualize it, are you sitting alone and is it thinking certain positive thoughts? Are there physical movements to it, sort of like Qigong or yoga or other different things? In terms of the application of Reiki,
Yeah.
how does that work?
Basically just sitting. I can be sitting here and be offering, sending that energy through me to another person just like that.
Is there touch or not necessarily?
It's a light touch.
It's a light touch, right?
Yeah.
And it's a transfer of energy? Is it a transfer of energy that you have in you that maybe has come from another source that is
It's-
flowing through you, sort of like
Yeah.
you're the facilitator, you're the conduit?
Yes, I am the conduit. That energy is coming through me to wherever I'm offering that Reiki. And we can Reiki ourselves.
We can.
Yes.
It's kind of like EFT tapping, which I'm sure you're very familiar with too, where people have said there's different trigger points where if you're in rush hour traffic and there's road rage going on, people around you are going crazy and you're feeling sort of anxious, there's different trigger points, places where you can tap, which can actually sort of cool that down and calm you down as well. Sort of similar to, so there's self-application to this.
Yes.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah. It's really a beautiful modality.
Have you had to do that? Are there times, when you turn to the self-application of it, is it usually when you're stressed and when you're like, oh, I need to, it's like your own medicine, or do you do it habitually, daily, just to keep things flowing and positive?
Every morning I activate my Reiki and give myself
like that.
a little
Activate
Reiki.
my Reiki.
Yeah, Reiki the room.
That's
and
right.
Like my office studio, I do my radio shows, plus I do my Reiki sessions and classes in there, and you can just feel the energy in the room. The rooms will get brighter.
Does it require a heightened sense of consciousness and awareness to feel the energy, to be aware of it, to notice it and appreciate it? Because we're so busy in our lives where we're running around, and there's a lot of things in life we miss that we're not aware of, or we don't take time to really notice the signs that we're getting. So does it require adapting a higher consciousness and more self-awareness to be able to fully appreciate Reiki and things like that? Do I have to develop that?
In a way, because the Reiki, you're going to have a stronger connection if your vibration is higher, and the Reiki is going to raise your vibration. But I really believe in anything we do, what's in your heart is a big factor. I read in a book once that, you're like a pipe, the Reiki running through you. Ego is the hammer that breaks the pipe, and I really believe that. I believe if someone says, my Reiki's better than yours, no, the Reiki isn't yours. Reiki, that energy's coming through you. But
so it's unique to the individual and the people and the situation and whatever it may be.
Yes.
Wow, that's fascinating. So it's not one size fits all. It's not a cookie cutter approach. It's tailored and customized for the individual and what their hopes and dreams and desires are and things of that nature, right?
Yeah. And with anything, I think, and trust with Reiki, trusting, I believe, is a big
huge,
part
right?
of it.
Even when you're working with individuals with something like Reiki, with anything like that, establishing that sense of trust between you and them and you, is essential, right? How do you go about doing that?
Yeah. Well, it's usually if someone comes, they're fairly open, but sometimes you have someone, clients come
unsure, resistant,
the injury or something like, oh yeah, right.
Right.
And for them, I call them Reiki newbies, but just to see what they feel and experience, and because for them it's basically relaxing, it can help with pain. It's a beautiful thing to see that. And everyone's an individual, how much you take in. But then with that being said, with Reiki, with acupuncture, with medicine, anything, I believe our mindset makes a difference. Positive attitude versus negative attitude.
Well, they say that even with illnesses too. A lot of times these illnesses that we get or that we have that become worse are due to the fact that the mindset is negative and down and depressive.
Yeah.
And that sort of depresses the immune system and has all of these negative. The gut is another area that they say is almost like its own brain. They're really realizing that internally is a key component to everything too. It's almost like its own heart, its own brain. That's more revolutionary and recent news, isn't it? People realizing that the gut plays a big role in things too.
Yes.
A lot of things come from there. There's a lot of energy there that can go another direction.
It really is fascinating. our bodies, our energy field. It's fascinating.
Tell me about how Reiki has benefited your life. People watching might say, okay, this sounds wonderful, this sounds soothing, relaxing, calming. I think I even hear a bird cooing in the background there. Do you hear that little hoo? It's the perfect time. It must be a dove.
Yeah.
But how has Reiki benefited your life?
It's just been life-changing. I really believe it's helped me health-wise. It's helped me with raising my vibration, my intuition. But the gift it's given me in helping others, offering it to students, teaching them, offering it to animals.
How do you, yes,
teaching them.
that's fascinating. How do you do Reiki on animals? And is it any kind of animal, or is it more cats and dogs? And how does it work?
Animal. All my rescue pets have gotten Reiki, but I've literally Reiki deer in the yard and seen them lay down.
Really?
And lay there. I mean,
is that from a distance?
All animals feel it, yeah.
Really?
From a distance, and they all feel it. And I have clients that bring their dogs and cats, and I had my first chicken this year. Someone brought a chicken. We gave Reiki to the chicken. But animals are very
receptive to it?
Receptive to it, yeah.
That's fantastic.
It's beautiful.
So what are some other ways that it's benefited Paula's life?
I think it's helping me to, health-wise,
Are you more centered, more balanced,
vibrationally,
more fulfilled?
Yes, yeah, absolutely more fulfilled. And the joy of bringing that in my life and having that to not only enhance my life but share with others has just been beyond words.
You're also writing a book.
Yes.
Tell us about this exciting book that you have been working on, and possibly when folks watch this segment, the book may already be out. Yeah. But tell us about the book. What inspired you to want to write a book and put pen to paper? The
book is called Why Am I So Happy? And
interesting title.
Yeah, inspired me to write that and have that title is because I've always been asked that.
People have come up to you and said, Paula, why are you so happy?
Yeah, why are you so happy?
The world is blowing up. What are you doing happy?
Yes, and I've had to explain it. And it's not that I haven't had challenges, and I know everyone does, but I really, really in my heart believe happiness is a choice we make. That we can choose that direction. And, you know, with what we look at, what we're grateful for. And I just, over the years, with sharing that with people, I decided to write a book. And it's going to talk about a lot of different aspects of why we're not happy, why we want to be happy, things that can trigger different things, different emotional triggers. I mean,
are we
I'm
spending?
really excited.
Oh, yeah, it sounds fantastic.